Oh, there we go. You just really got
Okay, I'll just fuck it. We'll just hold it.
Alrighty. Yeah, let's go interview screen. Wow.
Hello.
Hello, my dear friend.
Can you guys hear us okay? And hello, my dear friend.
How is our sound? We got audio. It's him. It is. That was my phone.
I'll get it.
It's all right. I got it. There we go.
Sounds great. Lovely.
Let's get comfy.
Yeah, let's.
Yeah, let's just vibe it. All right. So we're back here at Crimson Brush 2024,
We are.
and this is our first time having you on stream, but you're going to be on a lot.
I'll be on a lot over the next 3 days?
3 days.
3 days.
3
yeah,
days.
3 days.
So you were pottering about getting things done around the venue. You're doing a lot of coverage for our socials, as well as some content stuff as well. So that's, if you saw Benny floating off in the background, if you saw Benny floating off in the background before, that is what he was doing.
Yeah.
But now we've got you here, so
It's good to be here. I'm excited. This year it's heated up quite a bit. There's a lot of stuff already out on the shelvings unit.
there is. I think we're already at like 170, 180.
Yeah, which is pretty good.
This will be the first sort of lull period in the day. Like that's the first wave, and then if you remember last year, we saw a massive influx on first day afternoon.
Yeah.
And then a massive influx again on morning of judging.
Yes,
So,
yes, and I think it might have the same. And it's only 10:40 here, so
No, 11.
is it?
That's 1 hour.
Oh, that's Queensland time?
Queensland
Ugh.
time. Yeah. Yeah. Backwards.
Sorry, Queenslanders.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, so it's near lunchtime here, so that makes a bit more sense as well. But
Yeah.
awesome. The turnout looks really good. I've been just like floating around chatting. I've had a fair few new people come up and say this is their first event they've ever.
It's music to our ears, isn't it?
Fantastic. Yes, we're really stoked.
Yeah, fantastic. We were going to be doing some model showcases, and we still are. We're going to just delay that a little bit because actually a few of our able hands on deck are off judging other stuff right now. Funnily enough, so
Yeah.
For those who don't know, or just know of the Crimson Brush, but don't really know much of CanCon, CanCon, it's a convention.
It's a
There's a
full
lot
convention.
going on here. There is Warhammer 40,000, there is Warhammer Age of Sigmar, Infinity, Marvel Crisis Protocol, board gaming, TCGing, vendors. I think there's some
whole works.
cosplay, there's
There is.
role-playing. It's sort of a culmination of all the things, that people share in common in this space.
Yeah.
And as such, we lose some of our organisational team to shoot off and do some judging. So this year, I think Will, Trent, and I think Andrew Long even, they're all involved in judging Age of Sigmar and Warhammer 40,000.
Yeah,
so
I
they're
did hear
down there
that.
doing that now. Once they get back, we'll start to bring some models on and show you all about them.
Show you some of the goods.
We'll probably actually do this. Excuse me for coughing on stream. We will probably do this periodically over the event rather than just do one slot, just to accommodate for all the different things that are coming in.
Yeah,
really,
and there's quite a
different times.
range this year. Yeah, there's a huge historical little group I saw there as well. So it's good to see the historicals, the fantasy, the busts, the dioramas, the whole range of this hobby, which is what makes it
I think
quite special.
I think a lot of that's come out from Queensland.
I think so. Yeah.
Which, if you were with us earlier in the stream, we gave a bit of a shout out to Queensland Hobby and Model Expo, long-standing event with plenty of historical and scale model love in there. And yeah, I'm just so psyched to see them come down our way and enter this year.
Yeah.
As we did it to them last time, didn't we?
Yeah, literally. Yeah.
So yeah, excellent. So mate, talk to me about what Crimson Brush is to you.
A lot of work. No.
It is. Yeah. Start there.
It is a lot of work. Like, if you don't know, these events are all volunteer. So, me and Buckz volunteer, Bunny volunteers, Trent, all of our friends and family, Stonebeard. So it is a lot of work putting on these events and making sure it's a fun time for everyone. But what the actual event means for me is probably community. This starts off the year. really, for personally, it starts off my painting year. So this
Yep.
is always a great time to get really hyped up. You see a lot of awesome miniatures,
Yeah.
and it just kind of gets the ball rolling for what I want to paint this year, and that focus. So yeah, that's what.
So it's almost like the finish line for the year happens a couple of weeks before. Like this year, you had to finish up painting a little bit sooner than you would have liked because of the amount of work that you have to do on the back end for behind the scenes stuff.
Yeah. So this year I had to try finish painting mid-December.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
mid-December was the last cut-off date for me for painting stuff
Yeah.
to enter, and then it was social media and all the other stuff around
Digital
it.
assets that
Yeah,
you provide,
yeah.
which is awesome and I think just helps really elevate our event. So I know you hear it from me a lot, but I appreciate it. I know that the organisation team appreciates it, and I know that our community really appreciates it too. So we and I'm sure Trent's got plenty to say on that toward the end of the event, but I thought I'd sneak in a little one just now. So being that it's sort of like the finish line, and you're saying, that means that Crimson Brush acts as the start. Where are you at? What's your
Well, this year I'm coming for Best in Show. You're hearing it here first, chat. No, not really. This year. So for me, my progression in competing, I came here in Crimson last year and I got a good amount of bronze entries.
Yep.
Then we had the Guilds in Sydney in July.
Yep.
And I got all silvers.
So that's a straight
I had
elevation.
An elevation, yeah.
In 4 months, it went from bronze to silver.
Yeah. So this year, I want to go for gold.
Yep.
At least a gold. But I'm entering in Masters.
Yep.
So if I get a bronze or a silver in Masters, I'm stoked. So
Yeah, and that's let's talk about that a bit, because we've talked a lot about standard and masters, but let's offer like some other unique perspectives. Obviously, from a painter's point of view, someone who's a bit more experienced in the community, but sometimes people think, well, I had to have won something, in that goldish world in order to feel like I should be entering masters. That's not actually the case.
No, so I've never won a gold medal at like a Guilds Inn or a Crimson Brush or in a sort of open competition environment, I would say. Yeah. But I feel like where I want to go and where I want to compete is at a master level. So for me, there's no real point entering in standard, as I feel like I would do pretty well in that category. And I want to focus on where I actually want to go.
Where you're going, not where you think you may have been.
100%.
Excellent.
Yeah. So taking that bit of even though it's a bit scary and that risk of entering into Masters and going up against the best painters in the country like this guy, it is a necessary step, I think, in the journey of trying to get better at your craft. I'm a firm believer in surrounding yourself in people who are better than you, and that will help you get better.
I think that's, what does it say? Never be the smartest person in the room. In painting terms, that's, never be the best painter in the room.
100%.
However, one day you might be, and if you do find yourself in that position, then it's about how do you give back to everyone else who's sort of getting around you. And in turn, someone then takes that mantle and you go back into that learning.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is awesome. So, thanks, Huntress. So what have you brought along this year? Like maybe we won't talk about individual entries per se, but like what's your flavour? What have you sort of gone with?
Oh, okay. So I've normally stuck to bust stuff. This year though, and especially after Guilds Inn, I really wanted to try some miniatures and dioramas.
Okay.
And that just tickled me for some reason. I don't know why, but it did in a good way.
Was there maybe some things you saw there that did that, or?
I did, yeah, there was actually. So I got to see a lot of work from Sebastian Archer, for those who don't know. Yeah, Veiled Lamp, an Aussie icon in this scene. And I got to see some of his old painted miniature stuff, and it just blew me away. I haven't seen any of that before, and getting to see the detail and the effort and the world building is what really struck me. So I wanted to build little worlds, and turns out I really like Star Wars, so I just made a lot of little Star Wars worlds.
I think plenty of people who know Benny or have seen you stream or your social media presence, which is a pretty decent sized one, know that Star Wars is an important
yes, it is.
Step in Ben's journey as a creative.
It is,
No, you brought some of that, but there's some other stuff in there too. There's some Last of Us stuff. That's
I
pretty cool,
did a Last of Us diorama
Yeah.
that I finally can show to people,
Yeah.
and then I did. I think I say my best piece is this. I can't remember the name of the actual piece, but it's by Hera, and it is a dwarf on top of a slain dragon's head. So I think that might be my best.
Hopefully,
piece.
if we can get that one up on stream, because I think that's a wonderful piece that you've painted, and really, really, really cool. So,
Oh, thank you.
big fan of that. So, what's your vibe for what's out there at the moment? Have you seen some things?
I have. So competition's it's definitely stepped up, I feel, from last year.
Yep.
Especially the people who I know as regulars to the events. You can definitely see an elevation in ideas, in concepts, and I think even in painting as well. Like the technical ability is improved greatly with a lot of the people out here who I've just got to see their work progress throughout the years. So it's quite good.
What I am seeing to build on that is that painters who have found the confidence to attend some of our jam sessions,
Yes.
or some of our international guest painting classes, and then have found time to sort of consistently paint in between there, I can see a fairly marked improvement
100%.
in skill set,
Yeah.
both technical,
Yeah.
conceptual, and artistic or creative. That I'm really excited about, because that means we need more of it.
Yeah, it does. One of the pieces that has caught my eye the most, actually, and the scale through me, was Timbo's Katsura.
Yeah.
I didn't realise how big that was.
Yeah, it's a big piece, isn't it?
Yeah, and I was actually quite impressed with all the effort and work he put into that, looking at that. So that's definitely been a standout to me out there at the moment.
Yeah, I think we were both sort of fortunate enough to have a bit of a look into the process with that, and it's been great to see him see like that all the way through to its end.
Yeah.
I think as always, artists and painters tend to be quite self-critical on their work.
Yes, very.
And he can probably look at it and see sort of a bunch of things he could have done better or whatever.
Yeah.
But it's important for us all to recognise that that's actually what learning looks like.
It is.
Like that's how you learn. You
is,
figure out what what you could have done a second time around.
Yeah.
So that's an awesome piece. That is an eye-catching piece. I saw, might jump in. I saw some nice little interesting smaller bust done by Nathan from Migback, if you know him online.
Shout out to Migback.
That was done. We will have him on stream.
Yep.
So he's actually an organizer for the Canberra Display Painters Guild. So. Yeah. So hopefully we'll have them on a little bit later, and we can have a chat. We'll mainly be chatting about their endeavours with their painting guilds, but we'll hopefully be able to sneak in a little bit of a conversation about their own personal work as well. So, So, is there anything else we want to sort of chat about? We're going to be pretty loose this year. So we're just going to sort of bounce in and out where we can.
Yeah.
And obviously chop it all up for edits and thoughts online.
Yeah, we'll make some stuff for it.
What do you think about us doing a bit of a jam session on stream this year?
Oh, I mean, it's pretty exclusive. DC stream debut for the Crimson Brush. Ooh! So
I'll tell you a story.
Yeah.
We sort of we dabbled with the idea about wanting to teach at the event, right?
Yeah.
But we do have some challenges with space. Hey, I tell you what, just quickly, a little Buckz like mind babble. Big lines just opened up over there for entries. Another swathe of entries.
They're coming in hot.
Anyway, we dabbled with the idea of wanting to teach at the event. Now, when Crimson Brush was not the Crimson Brush and was the Crystal Dragon, teaching used to happen at the event.
Yes.
But also that was, I think there was a time when we weren't in this hall. We're in another one, and there was a bit more space for it. And then I think at the last one that was here before it became the Crimson Brush, there was a little bit of teaching that went on. But as this event has grown and grown, we probably don't have the floor space right now to do on-site teaching. So we thought, well, what's a better thing we can do? We don't want to lose that element. Let's see if we can do a little bit of online, workshopping, and then open it up to everyone else.
Yeah.
So
it's
with
going
that
to be
decided,
Yeah.
then it was about who's going to teach it.
Yeah. And let's be real, there's one Aussie the world wants to hear from. They want to get their dirty little hands on him.
They do. He's been our little secret.
He's our little hidden away gem.
But he had some things that he really wanted to get out and express and show. So we thought, well, DC and I have a pretty good relationship and think we can work together pretty well to try and bring that message to everyone.
Yeah,
so let's do
definitely.
it. So then it came down to picking a model.
Yeah.
And that was easy. Because
easy.
we have an awesome sponsor in Neko Galaxy.
We do. Shout out to Neko Galaxy as well. Legendary, couple.
Always looking after us every year.
Every year. Yeah.
So we had the model selected, and then it was just a matter of subject matter.
And
I received, so those who don't know DC on a personal level, DC is a morning man.
He's a morning man.
He's a morning man. So I woke up to a flurry of messages a week ago with DC expressing exactly what he wanted to do, which was his thoughts on non-metal metallic. But as I mentioned earlier in the stream, most importantly, the difference between painting gold non-metal metallic and painting silver and steel non-metal metallic, and where the challenges lie. And so once we got that together, we were ready to go.
Yeah, so I think you're in for a treat, everyone. I've seen Dave's work in the flesh, and he's a pool of knowledge. So. Be sponges, soak him up.
Yeah, if you've not seen his latest piece, I mean, you're let's not say living under a rock. I don't like that statement so much, but let's say you maybe not interested too much in social media presences or things like that. If you want to have a look at Dave's work, you'll catch him literally if you just at Dave Colwell on Twitch, that'll get you there. There's a few more digits after his name, but there's only one Dave.
There's only one
so
Dave.
It should come up straight away. We obviously spend a bit of time with Dave, and we sort of tour the events together.
Yeah.
So we were all together competing at the Guilds Inn, which was earlier last year, the middle of last year, July. Where Dave was fortunate enough to win Best in Show.
Best in Show.
Although what he won Best in Show with, maybe not everyone had pegged.
No.
Which was really interesting.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
But the reason why we're getting down this path is because he took a piece that had a lot of non-metal metallic on it.
Yeah.
It was like a pretty key feature. So you can check that out. He actually just reposted it everywhere 2 days ago.
Yeah, he did. Yeah. Which, if you haven't seen it, it's an incredible piece.
Yeah.
The photos don't do it justice, in my opinion.
No, I mean, it never does. In the hand versus photos is always contentious.
Yes.
Because there's two types of painting as well. There are paintings that are designed to be viewed
in the flesh
through hand and then through lens.
Yeah, it is. It's two different. I would separate them almost.
Yeah. Which is interesting, right? Because in the very first Crimson Brush, if you remember, you were actually stream modding the first one because you couldn't make it up.
Yeah.
It was the COVID year. Something that you were probably aware of because Seb was talking about this a lot, was like understanding that if you are going to enter at an in-the-hand competition, you kind of need to keep those values in mind when you're painting. Because certain things look a lot better when they're in the hand versus not.
Yeah.
All right, well, we're probably going to pop off in 5 minutes or so. Wait for our comrades to come back.
We might have to help with some.
Yeah, we might have to jump in and start doing some work on the registration desk. As we've mentioned, many hands. But we will be back, and when we will be back, we will be looking at miniatures.
We will.
All right.
Promise.
So
lots of good stuff to come.
Stay tuned. Expect to see us maybe somewhere around 12. Hopefully sort of 20 past 12, maybe 12:30.
Yeah.
And again, obviously, if you can't make any of the streams, we're going to cut it all down so you can watch it.
100%. It'll be all on the old YouTubes, so you'll see it all there. We'll post links to it all on the social, and keep an eye on the Instagram. We might go live on that as well, so there'll be some closer up shots of the models. I might do across the range for everyone.
Yeah, let's just raw dog some promo. If you're not following us on Instagram,
follow the Crimson Brush.
Because that is how people find out about it. And just because we're in Australia doesn't mean if you're not in Australia that you can't come and enter the Crimson Brush.
Yeah.
It's open for everyone.
It is. So fly over here. Come on, Topulus. I know you want to.
Yeah, get on.
Mini
come on, mate.
Come on, guys.
Have you lived if you've not been to the Great Down Under, mate?
Exactly.
All righty.
So, yeah. I think we better go do some other stuff.
Yeah, we got to go do some work.
And then
we'll be back.
We'll be back, friends.